Representative Rayrauer, would you like to move House File 4171 before the division with a recommendation it is referred to the Committee on Elections and Local Government?
I would, Mr. Chair.
Representative Rayrauer, please begin your testimony.
Thank you so much. So first of all, thank you, Mr. Chair, for hearing my bill, House File 4171. And I just want to take my minute that I have to thank all of the committee members for coming here each week and working in a bipartisan nature on for our veterans, for veterans issues. So 4171 applies to veterans who are disabled with a physical or mental impairment that has received a disability rating under United States Code. So these veterans with this bill would not have to pay the municipal fees for residential improvement that is required to accommodate their disability. Veterans often face significant barriers when simply trying to make their homes safe and accessible to them. Our veterans shouldn't have to pay fees for residential modifications because these changes are medically necessary to be safe in their home, to be more independent, to have a better quality of life. Removing the fees simply lowers costs for our disabled veterans. Many veterans require these changes due to severe injuries sustained during service to our nation. Modifications could be something such as a roll-in shower, stair lifts, specialized kitchens, and all of these things restore more independent living. So for all these reasons, I hope you will join me in supporting House File 4171. And with that, Mr. Chair, I would like to offer our testifier for testimony.
Please state your name and begin your testimony.
Good morning, Chair Bliss and members of the committee. My name is Mark Foster, Vice President of Legislative and Political Affairs for Housing First Minnesota. We're a statewide association of builders, remodelers, and trade partners focused on creating home ownership opportunities for all. Our members are the professionals doing this work every day. We are typically the ones pulling permits on behalf of homeowners, including veterans who need accessibility modifications to remain in their homes. We support this bill because we have seen firsthand the difference these projects make. The housing industry doesn't just talk about supporting veterans, we do the work. Through the Housing First Minnesota Foundation, our industry has completed impactful housing projects over the years, specifically serving veterans, helping them live safely, independently, and with dignity. To date, these efforts include 15 single-family Housing for Heroes homes and the 22-unit veteran village in the city of Eagan, representing more than $11 million in construction value and over 62,000 square feet of housing. These projects have created over 100 transitional beds, helping roughly 150 veterans each year. And over time, these homes will serve hundreds more, demonstrating the lasting impact of these investments. Projects like these don't just happen in theory. They happen because builders, remodelers, and industry partners step up, donate time and resources, and work through the same permitting systems that this bill addresses. And what we see time and again is that costs, especially permitting costs, can become unnecessary barriers to getting critical work done. So House File 4171 is a targeted fix. It removes those barriers for disabled veterans who need essential homes modifications, ramps, accessible bathrooms, widened doorways, so they can stay in their homes. We do recognize that this proposal may result in small cost shifts. However, it has been well documented through public data over many years that many municipalities generate significant surpluses from building permit fees, often collecting well beyond, and in some cases up to millions of dollars beyond the actual cost of administering permits. With this bill, we are talking about a small number of projects for individuals who have given back to this country. If there is any appropriate use of those permitting surpluses, it is this. So we would call on our friends in local governments to support disabled veterans by absorbing these minimal costs and eliminating permit barriers to essential home modifications. This bill aligns policy with what our industry is already doing, stepping up to support veterans in a meaningful, tangible way. On behalf of Housing First Minnesota, we respectfully urge your support and thank you for your time.
Thank you. And Representative Bennett, you had a question?
I do, Mr. Chair. I actually have two questions, if that's okay. Representative Rayrauer, thank you for this bill. I support this very much. I have two questions. One is more curiosity, but I understand what renovations for physical accommodations are, but it's also renovations, it sounds like, for mental impairment. What does that what would those renovations look like?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think that the main reason for having that is to make sure the door is open and not closed on that. If there's anything that can help with any of the possible mental issues, things like PTSD, I think we don't want to close the door on that also being an option. I don't know if research has any better answers. No, okay.
Representative Bennett.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you. I was curious about that. Maybe it'd be good to define that somehow so it, wouldn't potentially be abused. I don't think a veteran would do that, but it's good to have laws clarified distinctly. And then my other question is more, and again, I support this, but I also have been studying the reason that, local property taxes have been going up so much is a lot of it's from government mandates to local governments that are unfunded or underfunded. And we also need to reform permitting costs. So I'll just say that right away. I heard the gentleman say that. That's another issue. But have local governments weighed in on this as to, is it going to increase property taxes? Are they able to just absorb it without any problem? I'm just wondering about that, even though I absolutely support your bill.
Representative Rehbauer.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Generally, the permitting fees are covering the work to do the permit in general, but as we heard from our testifier, they do end up often being more than what is needed to cover that, and there's a surplus. I don't believe that there would be an increase to property tax. We're talking about a loss of maybe $63,000 statewide. So if you spread that across all of our different cities, it's going to be a very minimal amount per city. Potentially, I could see, a permitting fee going up from $75 to $76 for the others in the city, and I think it's a small sacrifice to make sure our disabled veterans don't have to pay those fees.
And I see Mr. Kelly's chomping at the bits to say something here.
Thank you, Chair and members. For the record, John Kelly, Director of Government Affairs for MDVA. I know research doesn't have anything to add, but I did want to try to address Representative Bennett's question before this one. So the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs has a program. It's called the Home Improvement Structural Alterations Program. It's a lifetime benefit, one-time benefit that pays for up to $6,800 worth of improvements. So when we reviewed this bill, we kind of saw it as a way to stretch those dollars. But the lifetime benefit, it addresses a compensable disability. So that doesn't make a distinction between a medical or mental health disability. So I think the way that this is phrased, it leaves that open for a veteran who is getting this program. And then additionally, that also can address a non-service connected disability if there's a service-connected disability rated at least 50% disabling. So again, to the question, I know that was really for research, but we wanted to just weigh in that we had reviewed that language and it made sense to us based on the HISA program.
Thank you. Representative Bennett?
Thanks, Mr. Chair. So just follow-up clarification. So basically, this is a good thing for veterans, and we're really saying if a veteran has a service disability of any kind, and they're doing some kind of building project, they don't have to pay fees. They're not going to have to, they can just designate disability. Is that correct? Am I
Mr. Kelly?
understanding that?
My understanding is that they would have to demonstrate proof of that to the county, just like for the market value exclusion, you have to demonstrate service connection disability. So they're experienced in that. And then, yes, if they are making improvements based on their service connection, our understanding is that this would basically waive the fees and extend potentially the dollars going from that grant.
No follow-ups? Any other further questions? Representative Feist.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I was just thinking about on page 2, the proof of veteran status required, and I was wondering if you wanted to include cross-references to the SGU veterans so that it's clear that veterans under either definition would qualify.
Mr. Kelly?
Chair, Representative Feist, so while we're in the process of recognizing our SGU veterans at the state level, Beyond the burial benefits from the National Cemeteries Administration, SGU veterans are not eligible for service-connected disability, so they would not be able to provide that proof of disability.
Representative Feist?
Yeah, thank you. I would just respectfully suggest maybe you think about including them in this benefit. Thank you.
Service-related disabilities are federally recognized, so there'd have to be something from the federal government, I would assume.
Correct,
Federal
Chair.
VA. All right. Any further, did you have a follow-up?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair. I just wanted to clarify so that I make sure I understand. So it's because it's cross-referencing to the Title 38. Okay, thank you.
Any further questions? Seeing none, Representative Rayauer, closing remarks?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just thank everyone again for hearing the bill and listening, and encourage your support.
Thank you. Representative Rayauer renews her motion that House File 4171 is recommended to be re-referred to Elections and Local Government. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, nay. Motion carries, and House File 4171 is re-referred to Elections and Local Government.